So as you notice, Chris is not here.
Oh, not Chris?
No.
I could have swore for a moment I was Chris.
But Chris is on vacation this week. I don't even know where he went. He just left.
I'm not sure.
I think
Good for him. He's
Dude,
having a time of his life.
He just needed to unwind, get out of here, get out of this rat race. You know what I mean?
Rat race we call life. Sometimes you need to
Exactly.
take a little break.
Exactly.
It happens.
So we are joined by our dear friend Warren, who is our lead buyer. Warren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What are the shoes today? What do
These
you
are
got?
Supreme Air Forces.
And who makes them?
Nike.
Okay.
But they're a collaboration with Supreme.
Okay, because you confused me there because I know Supreme is a brand.
Supreme is a brand.
And I know that Nike makes Air Force Ones.
Yep, and it's a collaboration between the two of them.
Okay.
Got a lot of shoes.
You do. What's the best shoe?
My best shoe is probably my Jordan 1 Hyper Royals.
So did you watch the Jordan documentary?
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal.
So I watched it like 18 times.
Which one are we talking?
The main one. The
movie?
No,
Air or his actual
so
basketball
I also
documentary?
recently watched Air, but like Air and the show, like
yeah.
the 8 part.
What was it called?
The Last Dance.
Well, yes, that was phenomenal.
So he said that he went back to the Garden, I guess in his last year, like 98, and he played with Jordan 1s again for like a memento, and they were like killing him.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but why weren't they killing you when the Jordan 1s first came out?
There's no level of comfort then, probably.
They
I mean,
just
think about
used
it.
to
I mean,
they were doing
I
playing
feel like
Converse.
I was gonna say Converse was the main shoe. I feel like for basketball then, and if anyone's ever wore Converse, you know you got very minimal padding, any sort of support. It's just, I mean, they kill my feet. I mean, I like wearing them from time to time, but
I would love to see someone go out into the NBA right now and try and play in Converse.
I feel like Converse has made a little bit of a comeback with different like shoes that they try and change up, but it's not.
They're still
the same.
awesome for like.
But you're talking
like
about the original
for,
Converse.
Yeah, but I think the ones that they had, like the basketball ones they had, the ones that like Larry Bird wore and Magic Johnson, like the basketball Converse, I think they were different than like.
They had to have been. There's no way you're going out there with that flat-footed.
I think they were more.
I mean,
of
the grip
a shoe.
would be there.
Right.
The grip would be there, but the comfort level, your foot's gonna be. You're gonna be sitting on the sidelines.
I mean, listen, I'm a big guy, and when I was at my fattest and I would wear Converse, like I couldn't.
It's,
that was on a walking around all day shoe. Like if I was going to the city, I could not wear.
It's got to be comfort.
No. Now I will say,
those they're not that bad actually.
No, I have 3 pairs of Jordan ones. I have 2 mids, and then I have this low top.
Yep.
And I will say, they are very comfortable. I have a little problem because my foot is a little wider, but it's harder to find like 13 wides.
And Jordan ones are kind of a more narrow.
Yeah, but in terms of like stepping, like walking comfort, like I don't even need my insole. I have special insoles because I have just bad shit. I have bad everything. But
You're just struggling out here.
Dude,
you're getting through it.
It's rough.
Day by day.
35 has been rough. But
12 is rough too. Let me tell you.
Let me tell you. No one got no milk. I got nothing.
I got nothing out here. No allowance.
No allowance. So today, and hopefully we don't get in trouble for this. I think we're all right because we got approval from very, very many high ups. But we have a chance to preview one of the newest, and not even released yet, the newest cigars from Altadis USA, which is the brand new Romeo y Julieta 150th. This was announced, I think, in early February, if I'm not mistaken.
2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago almost.
Yeah, let me see. It was announced on February 3rd on Aficionado. I'll give a quick highlight. So, yeah, the brand turns 150 this year, which is, huge. There's only one brand I know that's older, and that's H. Upmann. I'm sure Portland and Yaga, like one of those, might be
older, but like for an Altadis brand.
Yeah, because I just know that H. Upmann is 1844. This was 1875.
Yes.
The Monty was, I guess it was 1935.
I want to say it's got to be 30. But for some reason, I want to say it was.
They're celebrating 90 years this year.
Yeah, so 1935. It's
2025,
believe it or not.
Cigar came out in the 20s.
Sometimes I still think it's 23.
I thought it was in the 20s. Yeah.
No, I meant I feel like we're still in 2023 sometimes.
Oh, dude, I see 2019. I still think it was last year.
Yeah, 2025 is throwing me off big time.
Yeah. But I remember when I was my first ever PCA, which was 11 years ago. Also in New Orleans, like this year's going to be in New Orleans, and the first
Looking forward
night.
to it?
Yeah. we'll
it
get
should be
into
a
that.
good time. No, it should be a good time.
It'll be. It's just I'm looking at the calendar and we have like limited coverage. It's just going to be a lot of work.
Stretched thin.
Yeah. But when I went there 10 years ago, they did the Monte Cristo 80th, and I went. That was like the first PCA party. Is they had like an Altadis,
cool.
like a Monte Cristo. That was a good cigar too. I don't remember what happened. They never like brought it back, and it was
Just
a box press. Yeah.
Got kind of shoved under the rug, I guess.
That was a good cigar for its time, but that was before like
Things
Raphael like started getting involved, and like they started working with, like they've completely redone the operations of the company from even how their two factories work, and then obviously having these big partnerships with Plasencia and with AJ Fernandez.
Things have evolved in a great way.
In a great way.
Let's just say that. I mean, this is phenomenal. So start there.
So this is coming out of their out of the Altadis main factory, Tabacalera de Garcia in the DR, which has recently gone through a bunch of renovations and some changes to how they ferment and do all this stuff. Because for many years and I think this was a commonly known problem. I mean, we got torched on some reviews on cigars that we had as well. There was humidity problems and fermentation problems for years. Like
some things you just can't plan for.
Exactly,
it happens
exactly. But Rafa has worked with that team down there. They have another guy, I can't remember his name. Oh, I know Pedro is one of the guys who runs that factory. He's phenomenal. One of the group of De Maestros. And they've really gotten it dialed in. So I want to say this is the first like new thing I've tried out of this new TDG.
Okay.
And it has blown me away. This is like I think my third or fourth time smoking.
This is phenomenal. Every single time that we're able to try a sample, I'm all over it. I'm never going to say no.
I've been trading with a certain bigwig to get some extra, so I have some extras.
Don't tempt me with a good time. They are absolutely delicious.
So this comes in this quote here in the Cigar Aficionado article. The wrapper is an Ecuadorian Sumatra grown and fermented by AJ Fernandez. The binder is a San Andreas, and it comes from our partners, the Torrent family. For those of you who don't know, Casa Torrent. The Torrent family is like the main grower of like Mexican tobacco. If you have a Mexican San Andreas
it's
or
most
anything,
likely
89% chance it's from the Torrent, maybe even like over 90. And then for the fillers, we use Peruvian and Honduran tobacco grown by our partners, the Plasencias, and then Dominican filler from our longtime partner, Jose Mendez, who runs the farm. They've had a couple cigars named after him.
Yes.
And that family, because they've been growing a lot of the Altadis tobacco in the DR for years and years. Oliver said all good.
Perfect. At least we have a secondary, okay.
Yeah. Obviously, because this is such a big release and it was only announced a few weeks ago, I wanted to make sure, check with the...
Don't want to step on any toes.
The Altadis team. Yeah, and
it's a courtesy thing,
It's a courtesy,
honestly,
if it was my project and someone...
Yeah.
Exactly.
Of course. I definitely get it. But let me just say, the time that they spent on this, I don't know how long, it must have been a while, because it's everything, from the cigar itself to the packaging, the bands. The bands are beautiful.
Yes, I want to get into some of the packaging choices here.
You have to. I mean...
Well, also get into the sizes. They got 3 sizes. We're smoking... This has been I think this might be the only one I've tried, but I think this is the one I'm going to land on most often.
It's perfect.
This is the Balconette. It's a 6x54. Then they have the Prologue, which is a Robusto 5x50, and then the Crescendo, which is a 7x50. Although that might be pretty good.
7x50.
All sizes are presented in decorative 16-count boxes made especially for this release. Anyone who was at Pro Cigar last week in the DR, they got to see it. But yeah, let's take we'll talk a little bit about, and for you guys, if you're listening at home and you want to just go on Half Wheel or Cigar Aficionado to kind of follow,
Of course.
So you can look at it. The cigar itself, nice dark Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper. And I will say some of the better cigar, like the higher end cigars that I really enjoy from TDG tend to be Sumatra. I believe the Monte Vintage Blue, I believe, is also a Sumatra, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is, honestly. I think that was something
Yeah.
Because I think I smoked that when I first really started getting into more premium stuff.
Yeah.
And threw me for a little bit of a surprise.
It was very good.
Oh, it's delicious. I'm just saying, when I'm coming from not really smoking much, or like the basic stuff, jumping right into that was a little bit of
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I think the past few years, with Raphael helping out and doing all his great work. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I think, one of the tiers that Altadis has really nailed is those. When I say mid-level, I don't mean mid as in like mid. I mean the things in.
We're talking about the affordability.
Things in like the
middle class,
$8 to like $13, $14 price range,
like a middle class, like
yes,
in a sense of
like that part of the business for
nothing
them.
Too high end,
exactly,
like extremely high end. Yes,
they
like
have done
price.
that middle lane brilliantly.
Yes,
from everything from the Trinidads to the Henry Clay Warhawk,
honestly.
The Romeo Reserva Nicaragua.
You're not getting disappointed on any of them.
And then on top of that, I think they've done an equally good job with a few select brands pushing into that higher end. The H. Upmann, both the 175th and the 180th.
I mean,
yeah,
obviously. Come on.
What are we talking about here?
You can't be playing around with those.
Exactly. I think the Monte Cristo M truly
oh my god,
so good.
I've smoked a little bit too many of those, to be quite honest with you. Especially recently, I've been enjoying those.
Well, you put a lot of work into bringing that cigar in here.
So I mean, I've been enjoying, I'd say, at least one a week.
Yeah.
Which typically I don't double down on a cigar. I'll try something new because there's so many new ones to try constantly. But it's that good that I want to start my day. If I know I want to start my day off right, that's what I did on yesterday. First thing in the morning, Monty M is a perfect way to start the week.
I have so many at my desk, like in bags. And stuff. I can't find. I'm like, I don't even know where this one is. I know it's in here.
I'll store them for you.
No, I got to find. I got to get that humidor fixed down there.
Yeah, we do.
I got to talk to the guy's here.
If anyone wants to sponsor,
no. I mean, when we started talking last week, when we had that meeting, I was gonna actually bring that up. Like, hey, if you guys want to sponsor a new humidor, but this cigar is going to be more into that higher end. Like I said, like what they did with H. Upmann, with the 175th, 180th, Monte Cristo M. To be honest, I don't know if I want to put the 1935 in that higher bracket.
It's like borderline, I would say.
I think for a Monte, it's like a more reasonable.
It's not the Monte M price. It's a different bracket.
Yeah, and I think I think Oliver and Raphael would agree that like. Yeah. These are different tiers, but both doing what they do phenomenally.
Exactly. The 1935, which
So this Romeo is going to be the first Romeo in a while that goes into that higher end, and you see it everywhere. You see it with the packaging and the bands, which we're going to get into. You see it in the blend. You see it in how they're releasing it. Oliver and his team. They
knock it out of the park.
He's in terms of like idols for this industry.
That's one
for like my particular job
for your like role.
He's second to none.
That's who you want. Yes.
Yeah.
I could not agree with you more.
He can put together.
He's
a
on
whole
top
thing.
Of everything. Too.
Oh man,
he's very hands-on, on top of everything, and he's not skipping a beat with it. He's going to do everything so that it's done perfectly.
I think I'm doing so well in what I do, and then I go have a meeting with him, and he's like, let me show you what we're doing for this thing. And then he shows me all the stuff, and I'm like, oh, you're sitting there, you're putting
baffled.
Me to shame, dude.
Like, all right, maybe I need to rethink a couple things on
exactly.
Yes, no, I agree.
So, first for the primary band, I do like how it's got some texture to it. Texture is always important. I like how it's not overly glossy, like all throughout. There's parts that are a little rough.
Sometimes
not rough,
I feel like if it's
matte.
too glossy, it almost is like a cheaper, like not cheaper, but you know what I mean. Like
it's got like glossy around like the gold edges.
It's just so classy.
Yeah, the main text and the actual like band itself are matte.
Yep.
But then all these trimmings and then like the gold medallions are all glossy, and it's very reminiscent of the Cuban style Romeo band, which I love.
Yes,
I like so much better than the traditional.
Yes, of course.
Romeo,
It's just I don't know. I think it classes it up.
It does.
Best way of putting it.
One of the best things that the Cuban industry I think has going for it, besides the natural affinity people have for that.
I was gonna say, besides everyone's automatic
desire.
Yeah,
there's automatic. Exactly, automatic desire.
They hear Cuban, and I'll take that over anything. Yeah, no.
They have done a really good job with their packaging and their bands and everything to keep 90% of the historic authenticity, but just give it a little bit of a modern flourish.
Yes.
They don't really have anything that falls into what I call the harken back style, where it's like, okay,
Let's do something here.
Yeah,
Yes.
like all of it really, it still feels brand new, exciting.
Yes.
And that's what they did with the with this primary band, which, like I said, is essentially, it's very similar to the Cuban one. Then the secondary one, I love, like how it has the 150, like, and then it has that textured, like I don't know,
like
what
a rough
you call
terrain,
it, like
or
a
like
rough terrain texture.
Like, I don't know. It's
around it.
I love it though.
Which also gives the 150 a little bit of a pop because it's a different color. It's more of a like that texture is more of a yellow. The 150 is in like a more of a white.
It gets you to focus in on that 150.
Exactly. Like a wide screen.
Yes.
Like it just
the
we were
the lens
aspect
focuses
ratio.
here.
Exactly. And then I think they're doing the boxes are also like crazy cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
I do suggest anyone who's listening to go.
It's worth looking at it because it's something. Yeah, something to see.
Box is 16, and it looks like it's 4. It's like 4 and 4, and then there's like a split, like right down the middle. It has all the cigar information on it. You can see right there, has all the cigar information, and then another 4 and 4, and then like the inside of the box, this just looks magical.
It's like you said, Oliver did not skip anything on this. He made sure every aspect was covered.
And there's still some more exciting things that I'm not even going to mention because they're not in the press release, so I don't want to give them away.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
But even more really cool stuff with this brand that they're doing. And then on top of it, it just smokes so good.
It's incredible, and I feel like there's I'm trying to think of the word. It's an experience, and it's in itself. But like, I feel like there's different. Like as you go through it, you can have different experiences within this one cigar.
No, how they blended this, and whoever I'm guessing obviously Raphael oversaw it, but how they did this, and it tastes nothing like previous TDG cigars. It's a very modern blend. It's a blend I would expect from somebody like HVC or Warped.
Yes.
Like it's got that kind of complexity to it.
It's not something that would come out of...
Right. Now, I will say it is pricey compared to what I think people might think of for Romeo.
A standard Romeo, yes.
This 6x54 is $27.
But with that being said, I would spend that $27.
Oh yeah. I think
with ease.
I think it's very, very much worth it. I don't know if it's going to be a one and done or if it's like a seasonal, like maybe once a year.
I really hope it's not a one and done. Honestly,
I think
that's
maybe
how much
it
I
might be seasonal. I'm not sure. I think
I could see it going either way, but I would hope it's not. I'm that much of a fan of it.
I mean, they made it one and done for the H. Upmann 170th and 180th, but that's because they were using very rare tobacco.
Of course, that's different.
Like I don't think they had enough medio tiempo for the next round until they had to make the 180th. I think it took that many years to
yes, of course,
get that stockpile of that tobacco together again. But yeah, it just honestly the last very, very high end Romeo. Well, they had the Amulet, the Envy that came out.
Yes.
But I feel like that was probably still $10 less than this.
Yeah, it was not
like 17.
It was not in the same ballpark at all. I think it was like 17 or 18 around there.
Because today, traditional Romeos, your Reserva Real Nicaragua, what are they, 12?
Yeah, I'd say maybe at a retail store like 14.
Yeah. So like the Amulet was like 18, so like that was a step.
Yeah.
But back in the day, when I worked in the store, we had things like the Romeo Museum Edition.
20 cents?
No, the Romeo Museum Edition was $30 15 years ago.
Oh, you're talking about the higher end stuff from
15 years ago. It was very
high.
It came in a commemorative museum box. Every cigar was in like a tube with like a holographic imagery. I guess holographic. Really? It was like a picture.
Spectre kind of like with the tubes in a sense of...
Let me see if I can pull up a picture of it. It was a picture in there, but the picture was not holographic. I mean, I'm thinking of probably the wrong word. Maybe
what was it? Was it like how like the Cuban bands have the like hologram on it?
No, it was like a picture, but it was like done with like different, like the picture of the different layers.
Like almost like a mirrored look to it.
Kind of like a mirrored look, yeah.
I can't even think of the word.
You can kind of see the top of the tube in that.
Okay.
But it was kind of like that.
Interesting.
That's very let's see what Halfwheel gave the museum edition. Probably not great.
You don't think so?
This is from 15 years ago.
Yeah, of course. I mean, did you smoke it then?
I remember smoking one. I don't remember if I liked it or not. I'm sure I did, but it was very different than like what cigars are
now. I mean, everything's changed.
Yeah.
From flavor
so that original one that was from TDG uses a San Andreas Criollo 98 Rosado Mexican wrapper.
Very interesting.
A broadleaf binder, then Dominican Nicaraguan filler. It was also 6x54. It was $30.
Wow. What's that with inflation now?
And by the way, this wasn't even halfway. This was back when it was like smokingstogie.com. And it got an 89.
That's not that bad.
No. This was probably more in line with like the Jose Sejas, like back when he was blending for Altadis. Rest in peace. He just passed away this year.
Oh, that's sad.
He was a legend, dude. But yeah, let me see if I can find the box. So this is a better picture of like the tube.
That's like the Gurkha Beauty tube in a sense.
Yeah.
I'm saying the tube aspect of it.
Yeah,
It's
and then like the box, like they came in like that.
Very much so, like the Gurkha Beauty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, this was first.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought that when you have these heritage brands, I'm like, if you want to do you don't have to think outside the box. You don't have to go like this crazy thing or it's like some insane concept. I'm like, do it in where it's reminiscent. Like people see the Cuban imagery, and whether or not they're of the quality today that we think they are or whatever, it just conjures up classy and luxury because that's the...
It makes you... Yeah.
That's the reputation
the feeling
of Cuban.
that you have as
exactly.
soon as you see it. And it just... I don't know, you want something to treat yourself.
Yeah.
And you see that and you immediately think of it. It's a special occasion, something nice.
Exactly. And how they did it here was just excellent. So yeah, this should be... I don't know, when does it say when this ships out? Probably after PCA. I
want to say April. I believe from the discussions we've had, it was April.
Next to Romeo's will be on display at the PCA trade show before shipping immediately after the convention. Yeah, so end of April.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting.
Just very well done. Yeah, it's this is my first PCA in like a different role. Like I knew what I had to do before, which is I had to go and just scheduled interviews, and like it was it was an extension of like my regular job. This one is going to be a little different because I'm going as the brand manager.
Something you got to do there,
and I have to like have conversations with people and like work on. I don't know about deals for like buying. That's not.
I mean,
my purview.
You might have to jump in there.
No, yeah, because I mean we have a small team going. You know,
exactly.
So.
I mean, it'll be a good time regardless. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think I understand enough about buying to like at least like not...
You picked a lot up this last year, so I think you'll be more than capable of negotiating some deals if need be.
And a lot of this stuff is just like they're writing down notes. Like they're not. It's not like the old days where they were.
Someone's not sending you a PO right then and there.
So in the old days they used to, because that's the only time you saw them. So they would do the actual trend. Now it's more like I'm going to put you in the system for this much, and then you send me the PO.
We'll send the email back and get something worked out.
Right. I wonder if I think actually when I say the old days, I mean maybe like 10 years ago when I first started going. I think that they might have like the buying team might have brought their laptops and would send POs out. Like now it's...
I know a couple of years ago, I believe when Bobby and Andy went, I think they brought their computers with them, and I think they did a couple POs like at night, like every once in a while, or like at least send us emails back letting us know, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah, they would compile everything, and then at night, like an hour or so before like dinners, it's like you go up and you try to
let everyone know what's going on.
Exactly.
Or emails throughout the day, maybe even.
Right. It should be fun. What's going to be fun for me is I still got to talk to Jim about booking me some free time. And when I say that is like, because right now our schedule is like, we have every hour already accounted for with like meetings.
Yes.
But I need to go out and I want to meet different vendors for like packaging and bands.
Yeah, you really have to.
this kind of stuff.
So you're able to expand and try and do some more creative things.
Exactly.
Of course.
Like how I found the vendor who did the cigar of the month boxes and that kind of stuff. Like I want to be able to find
the Revival too. Revival
same
boxes.
company.
Same company. Oh, I mean that makes sense. They do great work.
That's the thing. Is like I want to find somebody like I know you guys do good work. I know how long your shipping takes. I know you can get me samples. I know you can do this and this and that. So the one company, I'll give them a shout out. Commonwealth Packaging, been absolutely.
They deserve
phenomenal.
the shout out there.
Yeah, I did use a packaging company in New Jersey for something more low key. Yeah, I needed some black boxes for remember that call center thing? I still have to do that. It was like the occasion. It was like the wedding.
The occasion
box.
boxes. Yes,
just got lost in the shuffle of everything else. But we want to do that too.
I think it would be great.
But no, but like I need someone from a packaging vendor who I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna know any of your terminology. I'm not gonna know anything.
Show me.
You have to show me what this looks like. You can be like, oh, do you want to invert it? I'm like, no idea. No idea what that would mean in this instance.
Can you show me a picture of an inversion?
Do you want like a tray, and like a thing for here? And I'm like,
do you want the 90-degree angle here on this right?
Show me a picture of what you're talking about, and I can say yes or no.
Give me a mock-up.
Exactly.
I'll give you the approval.
Exactly. But no, it should be. Hopefully next year they can expand the list a little bit. But I think it's becoming more of like a networking thing, particularly when you're a big company like us.
Yes, that's 100%.
Like,
I feel like
we haven't gone the past couple of years, and we're still.
And when we have gone. It's it's still like even smaller than this year's team. And what are you gonna do with that? Other than like really like networking and still working out the deals that you need.
It's working out the deals.
Yeah,
it's being able to have a lot of one-on-one meetings that normally you would take you kind of 6 months to have everyone kind of either come through the office or go visit their headquarters, but you can kind of get it done in 3 days.
Better see the doctor out there.
Oh, he texted me yesterday.
I've been talking to him almost every day.
Yeah, he saw me at my LinkedIn, and he's like, "Oh, look at you," and I'm like, "It's not easy."
I mean, you deserve the props there. Come on, there's big congratulations there. In order, it's something to be proud of.
It.
But no, the doctor is always reliable.
He's always in.
He's always there.
He's always in. Well, they actually just announced a new CEO. For Davidoff.
I saw that.
I don't remember his name, and I can't remember where he comes from
either.
I think it comes from Nestle. Did he come from Nestle?
I honestly didn't get a chance to read the whole article.
Let me see, because I would be interested to ask Davide if he knows him. I mean, I know Davide was at Nespresso, but I mean, if you're a big shot, like
hand in hand, if you're
higher up, two C-suite guys in the same company, you might you run into each other.
You're most likely gonna
exactly.
Some sort of company.
Half Wheel, I got to tell you, I love Half Wheel to death. For some reason on mobile, they stink.
Really?
It's always slow or redirect. It's just not great. Maybe it's my phone.
Although I'm always typically using it on my computer.
It's typically just
like
on
every
my
day
computer.
I'm checking it.
CAA says 2023 cigar imports were 426.2 million, which was lower than 2022. Cool. Where was it?
I say it was.
Oh yeah, well, because now they're doing pro cigar coverage and Cuban cigar.
That's
going to
be loaded up.
Oh well, so pro cigar just ended, but then Cuban just started. So they're doing all the press releases and all the updates from both of those at the same time.
When I went to Cuba right after their festival, literally landed the day after it ended. It was, I mean, a lot of the shops were a little bit more empty and didn't have everything, but it was cool because they still had all the decorations up and different things set up for it.
It's a big deal. I mean,
it was really incredible.
Emanuele Uccellini, or Uccellini. His last position as business unit director. Oh, who was that? No, I'm sorry, he wasn't from Nestle. He was at Lavazza. Ooh. Yeah,
that's a different ballgame there.
Lavazza is a really different ballgame. I do find it funny that the CEOs of Davidoff and Altadis both came from
the
high-end coffee.
Yeah. It makes sense though.
I'm gonna actually remind me after this. I'm gonna ask Davide if he knows it. But I'm a big fan of Lavazza.
Yeah, that's what I said. As soon as you said that, it's a different ballgame right there.
Well, you just got into coffees, you were saying.
Well, espressos and stuff. I've been having my cappuccino lunches for Almost 3 years now, actually.
So the hotel I went to in Saratoga, they had like a little espresso machine in the room and then like the little different pods.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what they give you for sugar?
Don't tell me the raw cane sugar.
The rock candy, like they do.
No.
Yeah. I think that's one of the coolest things.
I thought it was gonna be sugar in the raw because that.
No, I get that, but I get that everywhere.
Why go and buy? I like that. That's if I don't have rock candy handy,
I hate
I'm gonna
regular sugar in my coffee. I always go sugar in the raw.
Of course.
I don't know why.
Well, that's what I do with my cappuccinos at least.
Yeah,
I have to. Coffee,
the
I can
best
do regular
on a
sugar.
cappuccino,
I get fancy with my cappuccinos.
or even an espresso. If it has a little foam, is you just lightly pour the sugar on top of the foam, and then like when you watch it sink.
That's how you know it's done right.
Exactly. But no, I like I think the rock candy was such a cool, especially when you have it already in the cup. So when the coffee starts coming in hot, and like already it's melting and sugarizing it as it's being poured into the cup.
And then the part that you leave out too is the fact that you got a little stirrer now. Mm-hmm. Once you're done with it, look at that efficiency.
Can they deliver us cappuccinos from next door?
That would be awesome to find out.
I might ask Casey. I'm like, can you just send over one of the girls?
Send over some cappuccinos.
Send over, dude. Send us like we want 6.
6 cappuccinos.
Yeah. Well, like if for 6 people.
I was gonna say. 6. I mean, I can hammer 3 cappuccinos.
It would be nice if there was like a limited menu of stuff. Like maybe it's just like cappuccinos and coffee or whatever. But like that we can just be like, can we just like get like if we promise not to go overboard, can we just like get these? Like, can you just give me a cup of coffee? Like, come on, you're gonna charge me a cup of coffee?
I mean, the only time I think we've had them is if we get the Churchill room for like meetings and such. That's the only time I've ever had, which we haven't had a meeting in the Churchill room in
why have we had
years.
Never had. I haven't been to the Churchill room in a while.
We used to do a lot of our vendor meetings in the Churchill room. Actually, outside of our
that's because we didn't have, because La Finca was like constantly being fought over.
It was being fixed too. Like we were working, updating it constantly. But I mean, it's nice when you have like the cappuccino.
I'm excited for. I think they once they redo that front lounge room into a conference room.
That'll be really nice.
Yeah, just to make it.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't need to go in La Finca. Go in over here.
Go over there.
Exactly.
As long as it's not cold anymore.
No, the temperature there is always pretty.
With the fireplace going.
I think the temperature is more of a problem in La Finca because when it's hot out and the air conditioner doesn't work.
I gotta crack the doors.
Definitely more of a problem. Cappuccino and coffee these days is my number one pairing item. I'm really trying to cut back on the soda.
Oh, really?
Because I'm not a big soda drink. You know, Megan was saying the other day when I had some stomach issues, and she's like, I see you drinking soda on the show. I'm like, literally that once a week is like the only time, and I'm not even drinking a whole one. I'm having like a half of it because I can't stand water with a cigar. I honestly, it drives me crazy.
And meanwhile, you're sitting over here with the water.
That's because that's what first of all, they had nothing in the vending machine.
Well, yeah.
And I
don't want Mountain Dew Code Red. There's only one left.
Well, soon those are going to be banned, thanks to RFK Jr.
I mean, could you imagine they took our? I mean, we already have nothing in the vending machine, but you're going to take.
I mean, I think the first thing that people are going to see that's going to be like a big change is like I think he's going to ban some of these dyes that don't do anything besides turn Mountain Dew Code Red red.
Or like cereals. I can see a lot of like children's cereals and whatnot.
Like listen, these all these things taste the same.
And
like they're not they don't taste like different berries. They just look like different berries.
Looks cool, but like we're going to try and cut back and get everyone healthy, I guess. That's the
Or at least try to find a better what about like regular food coloring? Is that
I mean,
like people use it on cakes and stuff. Is that bad for you?
I mean, it's on cakes. I feel like that should answer the question for you.
I know. I could put an apple on a cake.
Why would you do that?
I know, but apple cake sounds nice.
It sounds like a communist lunch.
No, an apple cake sounds like something like it would be a good breakfast, almost like a banana bread.
I mean, an apple pie sounds.
Apple pie, yeah, but think of like an apple cake instead of like a banana bread. That's what I'm thinking of.
Banana bread's delicious, though.
But think of like an apple bread, like that kind of sweet bread with.
If you throw a little bit of cinnamon on it.
Yeah. And then you toast that little butter in the morning. Get the sweet and the buttery.
I think you could sign me up for that.
Yeah.
You're convincing me now.
I'm doing a pork chop tonight with an aged balsamic that I got at that olive oil shop.
Oh, at the olive oil shop in Saratoga?
Dude, they had one just for pizza. It was just called, it was like their pizza olive oil. It's just to put on pizza. That's it. Then I got one
delicious.
That was
Wait,
pesto.
You got that one?
Yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, do you make pizzas a lot?
No, it's not. It's not even that. It's like if I order like a pizza,
and then you can
pour. It's like a topping. Olive oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like having like garlic or something.
Not really. I don't think it's I mean, I have to look
Pepper.
into it again, but I don't think it's a cooking one. I think it's like a topping one.
I just got a pizza oven, and it is
Which one?
Ninja pizza. It's like a Ninja smoker and pizza oven
Ooh.
combination, which I smoked a pizza actually, or not really smoked.
You smoked the pizza?
But I put the smoker chips in and everything, and I had that going too while I was regularly cooking the pizza.
How was it?
It's delicious. I mean, granted, it took me a couple tries to get it down because I got stuck to the stone.
Yeah.
And then you're scraping the stone trying to get off, and then everything just falls apart there. But I'm so hungry.
So what's
at
the
that point,
trick?
You got to coat that stone
In flour?
in flour, and if you do not, it is a mess. You're gonna be wearing it.
You should do like a deep dish. See if you can do like a deep dish pizza.
That would be good, honestly.
I tried
bring
making
it in,
one.
throw it right here.
Yeah,
have a pizza.
I'll do it.
Make a pizza while we're
Do it in the parking lot. We'll have like a pizza day.
That sounds delightful.
It's gonna be a lot of work.
It's way too much work.
You remember Greg? Were you here for Greg?
No, I've heard a lot of stories though.
So me and Greg once they were having we used to have like a barbecue every like in the summer, like barbecue day. Now they do like the boardwalk day where they get us
Yes.
like the food truck and everything.
Last year they had like, hot dogs outside. And
But
different
before
things.
that, like we used to cook. So me and Greg were out. I was like out there like slinging burgers and dogs.
Oh God,
Yeah.
they're just risking everything out there with you two on the grill.
Oh, dude, please. I'm not like a gourmet grill guy, but like you need a bunch of burgers done real quick.
How are you cooking those burgers though?
It's got to be medium because it's for everybody.
Okay, thank God.
If one person says that
One
they
person
want
gets a hockey puck.
no, if somebody says they want like
Medium,
well done,
yeah.
I don't
You
mind
can leave
that.
one on the corner.
Exactly.
You don't
But if
want
someone's like
everyone coming up-
medium rare, I'm like I'm not doing
not
that.
giving
I don't
you
got time to like check.
I'm not poisoning you today. You're
Yeah.
not getting sick.
Yeah, or someone is like medium well. I'm like I don't even know what that is. I can do medium or I can do well done. Like that's what you're
tell
getting.
me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give it to you rare.
Yeah, not rare. Okay, I got a Pittsburgh style. I'm like, what are we doing here, guys?
Wait, that's a thing.
It's for steaks. Pittsburgh style is medium rare, charred on the outside. That's for like a Delmonico's or like a Peter Luger's.
So it's done right. It's classy. You're not gonna.
Dude,
get
that's
sick.
the best way for a steak is charred on the outside, so you're getting that
yeah.
char flavor, but then medium rare, so it's like crispy on the outside,
I
still
would
soft.
typically order
Yeah.
medium rare wherever I go. Well, actually, depends on where you're at. Because if you're at a place that's like questionable with steaks, but you really want a steak, I'm gonna order medium.
Where are you going that's questionable with steaks?
Not questionable with steaks, but like if I go to like a Texas Roadhouse and I'm like craving like a steak,
So
like a sirloin or something, I'm gonna tell them medium just because
yeah, I've never had
they're
steak
not
at
a
Texas
steak
Roadhouse.
specific place.
I'll tell you who does a good steak. And listen, I'm a steak snob. I like the fancier
Okay.
places, but I'll tell you who's a good steak. Longhorns.
Yes, that's exactly. And you know what else? I actually went last week.
Did you?
Went to Longhorn last week, and so not only are their steaks good, Caesar salad.
Yeah,
They might have the best Caesar salad
I think they are
for a chain restaurant.
15% better than Outback, maybe even 20%. Like
And the Texas Tunyon?
hard number. I think they're like 15 to 20% better than.
Yeah, and they're
Outback.
like 15 to 20% cheaper.
Yeah, and when I like their onion thing.
That's why I said I like their onion thing because it's already split up.
It's already split-
broken.
it's like
'Cause when you
peels.
grab the ones at Outback, the whole thing you just grab and fried dough and their onions.
I
sitting there.
had that maybe a year and a half ago for the first time
Makes
in
me
a
so mad.
while. The Bloomin' at Outback. I went with my buddy. It was so salty. I'm like, why are you? It's already fried, and I'm gonna dip it in a sauce. Why are you putting this
Yeah.
much salt in the batter?
Yep.
Like it was so salty.
Yeah, no, the one every time I go to Outback or not Outback, Longhorn, I will get the Texas Tunyon, the little onion thing, and there's never anything left on that plate. I will annihilate that, the salad, and the steak. And I always get a filet there.
I've been getting into wedge salads recently.
Really?
I had one when we were in Maine in August, and I'm like,
When you decide to pass on the lobster,
I didn't pass. I
you
tried
tried it.
and it tasted like an alien.
it tastes like an alien.
It was a texture I have never experienced before, and I'm too old for new textures. I'm not doing it.
Too old for new textures.
Dude, imagine if all of a sudden it was like a brand new, like you taste something, and I'm like, I've never, not like flavor wise, but like texture wise, like if your mind doesn't recognize it because, I'm old now. So like I've tasted a lot of things. So it was a texture. I'm like, no, it's just not something.
gonna work.
It's not something I've had.
Can't get
like I
behind
can't. I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So
by the way, I
got
just want
fish
to
and
note,
chips.
like halfway through this, I mean, I'm already in like a different flavor. Like it's
yeah.
It starts off. Would you say starts off a little bit stronger and then mellows out throughout? I feel that's what I've noticed with it.
I would say it maintains its strength throughout, but
Yes.
the complexity
Yes.
changes. Where it's like you're going to get some notes that you like that are very straightforward, and then it's going to shift to where like We're going to get like 3 or 4 things going on. Then it's going to become a little more simple, but then it's going to expand, which is, in my mind, one of the classifications of a good cigar. Mm-hmm. And it's a good way to judge a cigar if that cigar is not for you. And what I mean is, if the flavors it's giving off are not in my profile, but I'm seeing how the cigar executes its flavors, I can still classify it as good.
Cigar. Yes.
It's just not.
It's not your
me.
profile. Yes.
Right.
Not for you.
Like Cameroon. Like I can tell you a good Cameroon cigar. I just don't like.
I'm not going to go out of my way to smoke.
Right.
Cameroon.
Yeah. I mean, it's same thing with like fish. I can look at a dish and tell you like that's a better looking lobster
like
dish than that one, but like I'm not going to like. But I don't like it.
Like sushi. I know you're not a sushi fan either.
No.
Sushi. I love sushi.
I'm going to get more into fish this year, I think. But my problem is,
Sashimi.
I don't mind like regular fish. I don't mind like if there was a halibut or like a Chilean sea bass.
I mean, like a salmon.
I'm just never gonna order it.
You know who does a good salmon?
Who? Texas Roadhouse.
Not Texas Roadhouse. No, actually, talking just off the chains, because obviously like some other companies do it a lot better, but for chain wise, Cheesecake Factory has really good salmon.
I'm not surprised.
They have like a sauce with it too.
Do you know?
Perfect.
I've had various appetizers from them, but that entire menu, I consistently get the same two. No, I've had a lot of different the appetizers.
The appetizers you gotta try.
But from that Bible of a menu, I mostly get the same 2 entrees. When I was younger, I got the chicken chipotle pasta. And as I got older, I got the meatloaf, and that was it. I've never gotten like anything else from there. Meatloaf's good.
Do you get the cake after? The cheesecake after?
Yeah, you got to get Adam's peanut butter fudge ripple.
No, you don't.
That's
the Godiva. The Godiva chocolate. The chocolate cheesecake. Something real good. Something real flavorful, rich.
Listen.
Something to send me into a coma of
I have
sugar.
seen many rankings of all, because they've had like 50 or 60 different cheesecakes over their time.
Oh,
and I've seen rankings of all their cheesecakes, and consistently in the top 5, not the Reese's peanut butter one. Don't be fooled.
I mean, that one's not bad though.
It's not.
It's not bad.
But it's the Adam's peanut butter fudge ripple.
Never tried it.
Is consistently like number 2 or 3.
I'd be willing to try it.
You got it. I'm a peanut butter fanatic. If I'm having dessert
delicious.
at a restaurant, it's either peanut butter or it's like an El Capriccio where there's like they give you a biscotti for like free.
There's been a lot of, I mean, with Valentine's Day, I've loaded up with like Reese's and everything. I had to hide them in the freezer.
Where were we? We were at a dinner. It was a work dinner. I mean, you might have not have been at this one, but we were at a work dinner.
Or what was going on?
And then they brought us this cake at the end where no one said they wanted it, but they're like, no, you got to try this cake. It was like a lemon, was it lemon cake? Some kind of lemon cake.
That was that at right down the road?
Was that at
Capitol Grill?
Capitol Grill?
I think so. Yeah, it was the Capitol Grill because that guy convinced
we were with General.
And they convinced, they were like, no, you got to try it.
Do you remember what it was?
Huh?
Remember what it was?
It was something lemon, I want to say. You were right.
It was
like
a lemon cake.
But we were all like, okay. Yeah. And then they're like, no, it's worth it. And they were like, yeah, let's just try it. Why not?
Yeah.
Ends up being delightful.
It was like the best. It was
better
phenomenal.
than everything else we had, I think.
It was so good.
Which goes to show sometimes you just gotta listen to them and go with it.
I've been to Capitol Grill now twice, and I think both times there was something going on that like the first time I ordered the wrong thing. I should not have gotten
what did you
the
order?
ribeye. I should have gotten the filet on the bone.
Yep.
Which I did do the second time, but the second time I was there is when I started getting sick. So like I wasn't really focused on the meal.
You were sick, and you were also focused on like working out different things too.
Yes.
Which throws off everything too in that sense.
But yeah, I think I gotta go. But I remember the filet on the bone being very good.
I mean, it's hard to be bad.
It is.
I feel like filet typically, if you're doing a bad filet.
Well, filet is filet.
I'm saying if you do a bad filet, you shouldn't be in the steak business.
Exactly.
Period. That's a simple.
You still got to check out Butcher's Block.
I would love to check out Butcher's Block.
I'm not gonna say it's down by you, but it's like
Where's
down. It's in Long Branch.
Okay, so it's closer to me, or not closer to me, but it's closer than here.
Yeah, it's closer to you. Yeah.
It's not 2 hours. But
no, it's probably like an hour still, but
change.
it's more east than it is like north.
Okay.
I would say.
I'm assuming it's better than Rails and.
Oh yeah.
But
Rails is very good.
Rails is. I do like Rails a lot, and I like the setting of Rails, like how the restaurant is laid out and everything. That's why I like Rails.
I think that there is a level of steak from the high-end steakhouses that like it's very difficult for me to like pick which one is the best. Like to me, Smith and Wollensky and Rails and Peter Luger's and Butcher's Block and Delmonico's and Capitol Grill, they all do it in a very similar style that I very much enjoy. I will say the best I ever probably had is me and my brother had like 90-day dry age ribeyes when we were in Philly at, I think it was at Del Frisco's. Del Frisco's or Delmonico's.
One of those two.
One of those two. It was in like an old bank.
Yes.
And
was that after like a Rocky Run or something?
It was after one of my Rocky runs, yeah. That one was like, it almost had like an Italian cured meat flavor because of like it's dry aged with the salt. Yep. So it almost tasted like a prosciutto or something.
Ooh,
that
sounds very flavorful.
It was very, very good.
That's one thing I'm not gonna lie, a guilty pleasure. If I'm going grocery shopping, I'll throw in a little 6-pack of prosciutto and just.
Oh, you gotta.
I'll eat it if I don't eat it in the store, I'm eating it on my drive home.
Always get the Parma. Don't get the regular.
Oh, I don't care what it is.
No, you gotta get prosciutto the Parma. It's more expensive. It's like $10 more a pound, but like it's worth it.
Jeez.
Dude, listen. You want to do it? You gotta do it right. Listen, we gotta go. We got so much work to do.
Do we?
We got so much work to do. But this was awesome. Thank you, Warren, very much for joining us. Yes, guys, keep an eye out in the coming weeks for the brand new Romeo 150th anniversary, celebrating 1.5 centuries of excellence. It should be available on our website, but it's going to be very, very limited. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, keep it lit.